All right, spatial cinema. Spatial cinema is a way of using AR to do two things. One, you're creating a film, you're creating a project. And secondly, you're creating a form of location-based entertainment or location-based education, a location-based AR experience. Meaning that once the film is done, it goes out and gets distributed. But the location itself can become an AR experience for people. As long as you're using a permanent AR platform like GeoPose, like Augmented.City, other people can come and watch the thing that you made, the AR project that you made. A little bit difficult to understand, but hopefully this video will clear that up with examples. All right, spatial cinema. Augmented.City has been, this whole experience has been a dream, and they're a big part of this. Not just great people, not just technically super, but they have mapped 100 square kilometers in Bari, Italy for AR. And this has just happened this year. It's historic. It's one of the first cities in the world, or it's the first city in the world to be mapped this extensively. They've mapped other cities. Amsterdam, Moscow, some things are happening in America. But imagine, you know, for four years thinking about augmented reality and the possibilities, and now to suddenly be working with them to create projects, it's really exciting. But they're committed towards mapping cities around the world and then providing users with the ability to see information, tourist information, all kinds of city-related information, and it's great. These are images of Novaby's project in San Francisco, where they used AR to recreate the Black Hawk Jazz Club. That's where Dave Brubeck used to play. Now it's a parking lot, and with the magic of AR, they're returning the Black Hawk as well as making a community art project.
Hi View, I'm Jan-Erik, the Managing Director of the Open Air Cloud Association. First of all, I'm very thankful for the great work that my friend Stephen Black and his team has been doing to promote Spatial Cinema and GeoPose. Not only that, but Bubiko Future's artwork in Bari, Italy is the very first content created to run on the very first experimental open spatial web platform. It could become the equivalent of the very first web page demonstrated 30 years ago in CERN back in 1990. But instead of a text document, it is an entirely new form of art that offers a shared experience at the city scale. So even though I'm a software engineer by education, artistic expression is close to my heart. Back in the mid-90s, when I was a teenager, I made surrealistic 3D artworks for the Norwegian primetime TV. I believe that by building a spatial web based on open standards and protocols with GeoPose at its core, we could upgrade the world into a shared spatial canvas to unleash a digital renaissance with a flourishing of entirely new forms of art. But we have to step carefully, because the technology that enables this relies on constant reality capture. If we allow governments or corporations or other entities to aggregate such sensitive data about ourselves and our communities, we could end up living in a digital prison. So that is why the volunteers of Open Air Cloud are working very hard to make sure that our privacy, security, freedom and dignity can be protected to truly make the spatial computing era into a digital golden age.
Hi, I'm Suzan Oslin, and I am the Vice Chair of the UX Accessibility and Safety Working Group for the Open Air Cloud. And I am thrilled to see Bubiko premiere at our testbed in Italy, and to see, after 2 years of hard work, what's theoretical that we've been talking about and discussing in theory. What is the open spatial web? What is the open spatial computing platform? To see it realized and see our vision realized with Spatial Cinema, it's really exciting. I just wonder and hope if Brad Bird happens to be in the audience and sees this and gets inspired, what he might create. It would be so amazing to actually be physically in one of Brad Bird's films and have it be surrounded and maybe even interact with the Iron Giant. I had the privilege and pleasure to work with Brad on the Iron Giant, so I would really be delighted to see what he could come up with for this platform.
Okay, next I'm going to show you a slowed down clip from Bubiko's first flight. And look at the bottom of the frame. You can see some of the existing work that Augmented.City's already been doing. And then, of course, you'll see Bubiko in her blimp. So again, this is slowed down a little bit, but it gives you some idea of what we're trying to do, what we're building. First of all, it was a great honor to be invited to speak at View, a fantastic honor. And I thought the best way to really exemplify what AR is about is to do an installation at the venue, the OGR building in Turin, Italy. And so I immediately started thinking, how can I do this? And to actually do it, I needed a company or a person or a programmer or someone to help me map OGR and then to plot Bubiko's walk or adventure within that space. And I really had no idea how to do that. And I contacted Jan-Erik at the Open Air Cloud organization, and he gave me a couple names, and Augmented.City is in Italy. Augmented.City does exactly what I was hoping to do. And they were very supportive. The plan was to go to OGR, view, and map Bubiko in this space. Now, Bubiko walking is okay, but I had the idea of her flying so that she could cover a larger area. And also, because what we want to do is make it available to multi-users, if she's flying, one person, 10 people, 100 people can look at that at the same time. That's a very important point I wanted to make about spatial cinema, about the potential of augmented reality. So we thought, okay, we'll make this blimp, and Novaby, the Seattle-based company, Julia, all those people, her team is great. We came up with this idea. Sayuri helped me with the design. So Bubiko is going to fly around the inside of OGR building. And then, of course, the virus hit. And I had to think, because I had already bought a ticket allowing for the 14-day quarantine. So I came here 2 weeks before that in order to be safe and observe the regulations. And then we realized that if I'm going to be in quarantine, I should do it in a city called Bari, B-A-R-I, Italy, which is where Augmented.City is based. And then in this little room, we started to plot and go, I'd say go to the city and shoot this. And gradually we gathered the footage of Bubiko flying around Bari. And the cafe was a great location that we discovered. So quarantine's done, film's being shot, and now in the process of editing, and it's very exciting. It is the first example of spatial cinema. And by that, I mean that even though a film version will exist, that people can go to that cafe 6 months from now, 6 years from now, and still see Bubiko flying around. So very, very exciting, very difficult. Technologically, we're doing historic things, and I'm so thankful to all the people that supported this and helped make Bubiko's first flight happen. Thank you very much, everyone. And thank you, View, for letting me make this presentation and triggering this whole sequence. That fisherman is real. He's not a digital avatar. But maybe next year I can come here and make a digital fisherman. That would be an example of spatial cinema. A spatial cinema fishing show. Bye-bye, everybody. See you in Turin. See you in Bali. See you in Turin. See you in Bali. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.